At least 15 people killed, more than 100 injured in the collapse of a Moscow swimming centre. Helen Clark hits out after Don Brash takes the lead in the opinion polls. And a yachtsman rescued after a dramatic operation in the Southern Ocean.
This is Prime News, first at 5:30 with Susie Aiken.
Hello there and welcome to Prime News, first at 5:30.
Rape case emotion. The families of those acquitted expressed relief at the not guilty verdicts. Startling admission. Condoleezza Rice concedes that mistakes have been made in Iraq. Singing the blues. A much-needed win for the Aucklanders in the Super 14.
Prime News, first at 5:30.
Good evening. Also tonight, Kiwi families, students and workers set to benefit from legislation change.
Tonight on Prime News, meet your new police commissioner. Howard Broad's brought in to fix problems with the force. The fight over education funding will now focus on quality, not quantity. And an American jury says a 9/11 terrorist can face the death penalty.
Prime News, first at 5:30 with Eric Young.
Kia ora, good evening. Our brand new police commissioner says one of his first jobs will be to rebuild public confidence in the force.
Tonight on Prime News, a beloved grandfather killed in a house fire. How a simple smoke alarm could have saved his life.
Knocked my brother down and he knocked me down, but we caught him.
A miraculous escape for a toddler who fell from a 4th-storey window. And forget the speed cameras, there'll be no tickets for this boy racer on Auckland's Harbour Bridge.
Prime News, first at 5:30 with Kelly Swanson-Rowe.
Kia ora, good evening. A house fire in South Auckland has claimed the life of an elderly Tongan man.
Tonight on Prime News, Christmas commotion in the Vatican City as a woman jumps barriers to knock down the Pope. South Auckland police make a second arrest after one of their own cheats death in a volley of gunfire. And jingle bells make way for GPS. Santa goes high-tech as he celebrates Christmas Day across the globe. Merry Christmas. This is Prime News for Friday, December the 25th. Also tonight, weather looks set to spoil hopes of a new race record in tomorrow's Sydney to Hobart race. And crazy football fans in Europe won't let the snow rain on their parade.
This is Prime News, first at 5:30.
The Pope has been knocked down during the annual Christmas Mass when a woman jumped over barriers and into the aisle of St Peter's Basilica. In tonight's news, Queensland awash. Unprecedented flooding takes thousands by surprise. We have telling pictures as the Insong fishing disaster unfolded in New Zealand's Ross Sea. And beware the messenger. Police warn retailers about a bogus courier driver and his EFTPOS card skimmer. Good evening, it's Thursday the 30th of December. I'm Karen Rutherford. Also tonight in sport, Ricky Ponting's little finger continues to cause problems for the Aussie captain. And Lance Armstrong pulls out of the Rotorua Multisport Festival.
This is Prime News, first at 5:30.
Kia ora, good evening. Residents in parts of flood-ravaged Queensland have been told their communities could be underwater for up to 10 days.
Tonight on Prime News, the public finally gets its say on asset sales, but it isn't always what the government wants to hear. An English court hears the shocking details of a Kiwi teen's murder and cover-up. And Shakespeare in Te Reo, taken to the home of the bard, London's Globe Theatre. This is Prime News for Tuesday, the 24th of April. I'm Eric Young. In sport, history beckons for the Breakers as they prepare for back-to-back basketball titles. And if the fight's between Monty Barrett and Shane Cameron, why is everyone talking about Sonny Bill?
This is Prime News, first at 5:30.
Kia ora, good evening. Opponents of the government's asset sales plan finally had their say today in Parliament.
This is Prime News for Saturday the 23rd of February. I'm Gemma Vaness. Also tonight in sport, can the Black Caps get back on top and take up the one-day series against England? And the Chiefs show there is life after Sonny Bill Williams with a win over the Highlanders in Dunedin.
This is Prime News, first at 5:30.
Kia ora, good evening. Oscar Pistorius has been allowed to walk free from the courtroom, granted bail by a South African magistrate.
Good evening, I'm Yannicka Turellen. Tonight on Prime News. So, who's the choker now? Why Glenn Maxwell may regret this taunt at the very end of last night's cliffhanger between the Black Caps and Australia. Murder in Moscow, but who's to blame? The Kremlin and opposition groups accuse each other of assassinating a fierce critic of President Putin. And open wide and say yum. The waiting's over. The Bluff oyster season's finally here.
This is Prime News.
Kia ora, good evening. The country's collective nerves are still settling down following last night's Cricket World Cup thriller. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Yannicka Turellen. Tonight on Prime News. A crackdown on bridge jumpers after a video is released showing a man jumping from more than 20 metres at a swimming spot near Tauranga. Palmerston North parents are on alert as a suspect accused of kidnapping a young girl remains on the loose. The government hasn't ruled out putting money toward an Able Tasman beach as donations from the public soar past the target sum to buy it. And it's a fine Sunday, but the clear weather won't last into next week for everyone.
This is Prime News, first at 5:30.
A death-defying jump at a popular waterhole near Tauranga.